You might already know this, but I'm not exactly the biggest fan of StrangerVille. I think it might be one of the worst packs for The Sims 4. Luxury Party is the worst, but then StrangerVille it's up there. I think the idea of it's kind of fun. I just don't know if it's like a pack that I'm interested in, and also the builds in the world are terrible. Horrible. It's embarrassing that they exist. I think that's true of a lot of the more recent builds in the game, but like StrangerVille, it took the cake for like top of the top bad, at the time at least. I think that Realm of Magic is worse, but that's beside the point. But basically, back when this pack came out, I renovated all of the lots except for one because I simply could not bring myself to do it. I actually bulldozed one of them and just left the other one the same. So in my SimSie save, I never even changed this build, and I renovate everything in my SimSie save. But the other day, I finally was like, you know what? We gotta sit down. We're gonna do this. It took me 2 streams, so I spent like 6 hours on it. Way too long. Shameful, actually. The build that I'm talking about is this one, where the Roswells live. So let's game, shall we? Now, I have a lot of issues with this. I'm gonna point them all out to you. Okay, number 1, the house is enormous, and I think that's fun. Like, it's not a bad thing to have a big house in The Sims. It fills up the entire lot, which is a good and bad thing. It kind of has like a fake yard because there's like this fence surrounding it a little bit, but it has also this really amazing fancy driveway leading up to it. And then look at what the house looks like. They didn't take advantage of this lot, and they just like put this weird fake path and then like this path to nowhere right here. It doesn't fit in. You have this beautiful world, and then the build itself is just a nightmare. The other ones are too. I mean, this one's probably worse. That's why I bulldozed that one. But I think it's just disappointing that you have this beautiful lot and then the staircase is all the way over here, and like that's what the entrance looks like. Okay. Anyway, the house is giant, like I said. The windows are in kind of weird places. Like, I wouldn't necessarily place them where they are, but it's okay. This side of the house is infuriating. This makes me want to punch a wall, and I mean that when I say it. So if you look, you can see that like this roof piece, let's go into build mode, I'll show you. This roof piece is overhanging by a ton. Like, this roof piece, if it was gonna be like that, to fit the wall, it should be right there. But it's just overhanging over nothing for no reason. And like this, what is that? Why is that there? The side of the house is one of the worst things I have ever seen in The Sims, and I mean that. And then you go onto the inside, and there's no furniture. And again, I know that they're like limited by weird pack restrictions. I don't really know how many furniture items they can put in a house, but if you simply cannot furnish a house, then don't make it this big. This hallway has no furniture in it. Look at this room. Why are there 2 beds in here, and why is one of them diagonal? Why is this wall sconce right there? Like, getting upset. I'm getting upset. It doesn't make any sense. The layout of the house makes no sense. The beds being diagonal make no sense. This whole house is so weird. And they tried to be like, oh no, the houses being empty just adds to the strange. That's like a direct quote when this pack came out about StrangerVille. It's that the empty houses were on purpose because it adds to the strange. Well, it didn't work if it was really on purpose. It just looks embarrassing and like a mistake and an oversight. Like, things that add to the strange are like this weird basement. This adds to the strange. I'm into it. I can accept this. I respect it. It fits the vibe. Like, this adds to the strange. This does not add to the strange. This is just stupid. Okay, I'm sorry. Deep breaths. We're gonna try and renovate this house. I think my number 1 goal is that I want to fix how the sides look, and I also want to make sure that the house is a little bit smaller, and I want the entry to actually line up with this cool driveway, because you have this awesome driveway. I want to make use of it. So we're gonna try and do some flipping, I think, a little bit, and then also just completely, change everything. So let's do it. All right, we're back and we're building. Welcome back to Speed Build Sunday, as some people say. I've got like a 20-minute speed build for you guys today because this build, it should have been a lot longer. I oftentimes cut out things like the bathroom and the floor plan when I have like a super long build like this, because otherwise I don't know how to make it like not a 45-minute speed build. I don't know how many people want to actually watch me sit here and like fast build for an hour, So I try to cut some things out, and I'll explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and I'll show you at the end the finished product. But you'll see the first thing I did was come in and just make the entire house smaller. I cut off like a huge part on the left and right of the house, and then I ended up flipping where the tower is, because there was that tower on the left side, and I flipped it to the right side because I wanted to move the entry further over to be nearer to that driveway. So that was my main priority, was to just flip the whole house around completely. So you'll see it looks a lot different right now, but I slowly kind of bring it back to its original form, just like a little bit smaller. Because again, with a house like this, it's so big for no reason. Like, especially if you're playing with the EA restriction stuff, they just don't have enough like room to furnish the house, and their like weird budget of items, because they have these like weird limits for how many items they can have on a lot, and I don't really know how those work or what those are. I just know they exist because they're very weird and vague about it. But like, if you have to limit the number of objects you can use, you have to make the house a little bit smaller. Like, you don't need to fill up the entire lot. It's okay. You can make it a little bit smaller. No one's gonna be mad. This is still a giant house. It ends up actually only being a 2-bedroom house though. Before it had a way more bedrooms, but I figured it was just Ted and his wife living here. And so they've got like their main bedroom and they have a guest room. They have an office and stuff too, but like I tried to make it smaller. I also had like a huge open area looking down on the first floor. So I basically have like the whole second floor being nothingness. But I think it makes sense for a house like this. It's just funny the idea of this like giant house being just 2 bedrooms. It's kind of sad. It's okay. It's all about appearance, not function. I also used just base game and StrangerVille for this. So if you've got StrangerVille, you can download this house and replace it in your worlds if you want to. It still looks very similar. It's just a little bit better, which is kind of how I aim to do these renovations, right? Is to keep the vibes, but just slightly improve them. It's also very expensive, so it kind of fits that like I'm the mayor of StrangerVille and I have a lot of money sort of vibe that we're going for. Don't worry, Ted is still a rich man. I have a couple issues that I encountered. Number one, they have this like gravel terrain paint that they use in the driveway, like in the world. We don't have that same color gravel in our game. Like, we can't access that color gravel in the catalog, so I had to just like pick one and then try and use sand on top to try and match the colors, but we don't have that same color gravel. So like how they used to use all these plants that we couldn't access, they also use gravel paint that we can't access, and it's so annoying how you have this like fancy driveway, but then I can't match it. Like, it's so frustrating. They keep doing these things where they put the house like floating in the grass. It's not connected to a sidewalk, so you can't have like a real pathway or driveway, or you do this where we have like not a matching gravel. You have this beautiful driveway, but you can't actually like make your house touch it. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. I'll get through this. I'll be okay. It's just very frustrating. It's so annoying to have this like great thing and then not be able to use it, you know? And like no matter how hard you try, it's always gonna look bad, which is it's just disappointing, you know? But it's okay. We got there. And like I said, I flipped the tower. So it used to have this giant tower on the left side of the build, and I was like, this is fun. I like the tower concept, but again, it's making it so I can't have my entryway where the actual driveway is. So I flipped it to the other side. I think it makes more sense over there too. And then it makes the other side look less dumb with like its little balconies and stuff. This house has a ton of balconies. There's like the huge front porch in the front. There's a huge porch in the back. There's the porches on the side. Like, there's just balcony and porch space everywhere. But I feel like it kind of fits maybe like the style of the house and where it's from, so it works. I put a nice patio and pool outside too, because it is a mansion, so you kind of need a pool, right? I mean, it works. It makes sense. There's also this horrible, god-awful, ugly red tile that I use for the patio. You'll see it soon. I made it bad on purpose. I was streaming this on Twitch, and sometimes I like pick something as a joke, or like I test it and my whole chat's like, oh my god, that's so ugly, why would you do that? And then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna keep it. So you did this to yourself. So I kept this horrible red tile. It kind of grew on me a little bit. I still stand by my decision, but it's very bright and it's red. It's not like red, it's an orangey red. I didn't like pick like red shiny tiles. It's like a paver. Don't worry, I'm not that bad. But it was all because of my Twitch chat being like, why would you do that? And then me being like, oh, you don't want me to do this? Okay, well, guess what? And then I kept it. I stream on Twitch, by the way. I stream every day on Twitch, actually, at 4 p.m. Eastern time, except for Sundays, but every other day I'm live. And I do a lot of builds over there. Like, a lot of my speed builds I post on YouTube, I do on Twitch first. So if you ever see a speed build and you're like, I want to see someone build this live, you could go watch me do it in real life for like 6 hours if you want. I mean, that's great fun, right? Real time too. While I'm here finishing up this exterior of the house, can I just complain to you guys for a second? Because Disney reopened this weekend. I live in Orlando, Florida. I don't know if you guys knew, but Florida is having a really rough time with coronavirus cases right now, and Disney reopened today. It's fine. Everything's fine. It seems like so many people have just decided that the pandemic is over. And the pandemic is not over, just in case you were curious. Please don't come to Orlando on vacation. Don't please go home. Go away. This fills me with rage, I'm gonna be honest. I'm scared. It's a scary time, and also, not to make this about me, but like, my boyfriend lives in England. I can't see him until the borders are open and that it's safe to travel and stuff. I'm not gonna see him for months. I haven't seen him since March. It's gonna be like next year before I can see him again. Put on a mask and go home. Okay, I'm sorry. I just can't imagine choosing to go to a theme park on vacation right now, and you just know all these people are gonna go to Disney and be like, oh, but it's hot. I'm trying to eat my ice cream. I don't wanna wear a mask. I feel so bad for anyone who works at Disney who has to go in now and deal with all these people who are like, I'm on vacation, I can do what I want, and like disobey your rules and just choose to not wear a mask because it's hot outside. If you didn't want to wear a mask in the heat, you shouldn't have gone outside. Sorry. I'm okay. This is a sore subject for me. I cannot believe that Disney is reopening now. I'm okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Deep breaths, everybody. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this. I've not ranted much on YouTube in a while. I used to do that a lot in my speed builds. I don't really get out much. Pandemic is part of it, but also I live and work from home, so I don't really leave. I don't really have any friends nearby, so like even in regular times I don't get out much. There's nothing to talk about in my speed builds because I don't do anything. Let's see, what have I done this week? I cleaned my house a bunch. I had a horrible headache on Wednesday, or I don't know what day. I don't know. I didn't stream that day because my head hurt so bad, so I like cleaned a little bit. I've been playing some Animal Crossing on occasion. I'm getting my wisdom teeth out soon, but I don't know when exactly, so I'm pre-recording to try and be ready for that because I'm gonna try and take a week off when I do. So like my life right now has just been me trying to pre-record for a vague unknown time. I don't know when I'm actually gonna get them out. I've got an appointment on Wednesday with the oral surgeon, so I'll keep you guys posted about that, but it took like 2 weeks to even get in for a consultation on Wednesday, and then who knows when I can actually get them taken out. My mouth hurts so bad. I want to like rip them out myself. I've reached a point where I'm like, I can't deal with this anymore, so I'm just waiting. But I think when I actually do get them out, I'm gonna take a week off, so you'll see my video, so I'm pre-recording a little bit for it. But like I said, I don't know when it's actually gonna be. Like it could be next week, it could be next month for all I know, so like we'll see. Stay tuned, everybody. I won't stream that week though. I don't know how long it'll take for me to like feel comfortable talking for an extended period of time. Like I'm sure I'll be fine to like function and exist and work, but like I have to talk for a living and I'm getting teeth ripped out of my mouth, and I don't know how long it'll take for me to like feel comfortable streaming and like talking to myself for 3-4 hours. So I'll keep you guys posted. I know you don't care about this. It isn't that big of a deal. I'll be fine. Don't worry. But like that's a concern of mine, is like how long will my mouth hurt too much to talk? Because I don't know. And people in my Twitch chat keep telling me horror stories too. Please don't tell me horror stories. I don't want to know about your complications with getting your wisdom teeth out. That is terrible. That is the last thing I want to think about right now. Please shut up. I think people mean well, but they're like, oh, Kayla, you're getting your wisdom teeth out? When I did that, I was like hospitalized for a week. What? Don't tell me that. I'm gonna be fine. You are the outlier. I'm gonna be okay. Leave me alone. Don't get your little curses near me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you cursed. I'm not gonna read your comments with your horror stories either on YouTube. I'm just putting that out there. I don't care what happened to you when you got your wisdom teeth out. I'm fine. I don't need to hear about it. You can see now the landscaping though is kind of coming together on the build. Back to the build for a second. I used debug landscaping to do this. I don't know if you guys knew, but they have all of the StrangerVille plants in debug. It was kind of weird because we all complained about this and they're like, okay, fine, we'll give them to you. And so they gave us all the StrangerVille ones. So if you type in bb.show hidden objects and then bb.show live edit objects, the StrangerVille stuff shows up actually in build mode in the catalog, but the rest of it, if you search debug, you can find all of the plants that are in the game ever. Like any of the plants that EA has used in the world, like in the environment, you can access them as well. And so I'm just putting this out there. If you want to search for that, you can use them. And it's so nice to have the StrangerVille ones because you have all these like cool cactus plants and like interesting things and fun red rocks, and we just didn't have access to them yet again. It's like the gravel issue where you've used it everywhere in the world, but I'm not allowed to use it. And so my builds just don't match no matter what I do. They just can't fit into the world. And so they gave us access to the plants so we can actually make them match now. So I use like the cool rocks in a couple places and stuff. So it all blends in pretty nicely. I kind of enjoy the outside of this house a lot. I struggled to furnish it because I didn't really know like what I wanted the rooms to be like and stuff, because I wanted it to be kind of an older, like more closed off floor plan because it is supposed to be an old mansion, you know, so I tried to have it be kind of closed off. There's like hallways and stuff, but I didn't want it to be like outdated and bad. So I kind of struggled to find a balance there. But I did the kitchen in this tiny room with the door to the patio, and there's like a big formal dining room, there's a formal living room, there's a TV room, and then you've got like this big open hallway space upstairs and then 2 bedrooms. There's also only 2 bathrooms in this house. One of them is enormous and the other one is tiny. It doesn't really make much sense. I have a lot of just open random hallway space and like not actual functional space. Doesn't make sense. Like I said, it'd be better to have more bathrooms. I think often you see these mansions that are like 7 bedrooms and 15 bathrooms. It's just this enormous house. They've got bathrooms everywhere, but that is not the case in my Sims build. I'm gonna be honest. I dropped the ball with the bathrooms. I apologize, but it's too late now. So I did the floor plan and I was like, it doesn't fit anywhere. No bathrooms fit anywhere except for this tiny little corner on the first floor. That's okay. It's fine. fine. It's a Sims mansion. You don't need 15 bathrooms, although like 3 could be nice. And also just 2 Sims live here, so like it's fine. It could be a lot worse. I always think that's so scary, like looking at real estate websites and having these houses that are listed for like $15 million and they have like 13, 14 bathrooms in them. Like how do you, I don't know, I guess I'm coming from a place of like a normal person life where you have to clean your house yourself, but like I just think about that and like, how are you gonna clean 15 bathrooms? That's horrible. But like realistically, you know, people that have 15 bathrooms can hire someone to clean them all for you, like frequently. But I just am like, oh my God, imagine trying to clean that house. Wouldn't that be terrible? You wouldn't have to. You wouldn't be cleaning anything. You'd be fine. You could have someone cooking for you too if you wanted to. Oh, that would be nice. And then they would do the dishes afterward. Wow. You know what? Maybe Okay, see, I'm kidding though. I don't think that I actually would want to have a private chef. Like you hear, I don't know. The idea of like having a person who works for me living in my house and then like their job being to cook whatever I want, I would feel so like rude being like, I want pancakes. I don't know. I don't want that. That's uncomfortable. I can make my own pancakes. Obviously, I'm never going to have a private chef, but one time I saw a listing for this like really fancy apartment in New York City. It was like millions of dollars, obviously, like penthouse, super fancy place. And they clearly like really wanted to get rid of it. So the house, like the listing, if you bought this place, it came with a private chef for 1 year and also like 3 like mega fancy supercars that you could rent for a year. And like also a month-long cruise or something. Like they had like thrown in these like perks to buy this apartment, which is just so weird. Like to be like, hey, if you buy this place right now, buy it today and get a free personal chef for a year. Like, what? So weird. I don't know. I just can't. That's such a life that we will never live, you know? This idea of like having a personal chef and like throwing in some supercars with your purchase of your new home. Like what is that? And the month-long cruise? Who could even go on a month-long cruise? I don't know. I really enjoy looking at real estate though. It's so fun. I think it's fun to look at like really fancy apartments in the cities too, because like these places, some of them have built-in car elevators. Like there was this one apartment building that had a car elevator and it like you had the whole floor was your apartment, right? And you had this car elevator that would take you up to your garage that was on your floor of this high-rise building. And so you had a garage on your floor and an elevator for your car. So you could just drive into it and it would raise you up to your house and then you'd walk in and be in your little apartment. What kind of life is that? I didn't even know those existed until I saw that in the thing. And then I was like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you've got car elevators? I had never seen that before ever. I don't even know if I would want something like that, but how nice would that be to have an actual like built-in parking space and like storage in your garage and you live in a high-rise building? Just so weird. Anyway, I spend a lot of time on Zillow. I don't know if you noticed, but that's my favorite social media site is Zillow. I said this before, but a lot of times I go in and I like look at these fancy houses and I'm like, oh, you know what? I would change the kitchen. I'd probably like maybe break down that wall. I would repaint this room. And like imagine myself living there. I'm like, where would I put my desk in my office? Like how would I lay out this place? But it's not, you're just not gonna live there. It's a $4 million condo in New York City. Like, you're never gonna move to New York, Kayla. I think I like the apartments the most because most of them have floor plans. Like, a lot of times when you look at houses on Zillow, at least in the US, they never have floor plans included. In the UK, it seems like they have floor plans on their listings more often, but here there's never like a floor plan for a house. But apartments do have floor plans and I enjoy looking at those. I think it's fun. It's hard to like look at a listing of a house and see how it's laid out just from pictures because it's like, okay, here's a bathroom, but like where is it? And they don't like include the pictures of the hallway. You know, they've just got like a fancy picture of the kitchen and like here's the backyard, but like how do you get there? I need to visualize it. If I'm gonna spend $8 million on this house, I want to see what it looks like. Anyway, clearly I don't get out much. All I do is look at fake homes on the internet and stuff. So but that's okay. I mean, you do that too, right? And there's a pandemic, so it's fine. I've got an excuse, right? No one can go anywhere. So instead, you just look at fake homes on the internet, in The Sims, on Zillow. I need to get off Twitter. That's the other thing. I keep seeing, I think especially because with this Disney stuff going on, I keep like reading through tweets and getting all stressed out. Like, just go home. Stop coming here on vacation. Sorry. No one has any business going on vacation to like a hotspot during a pandemic. Everyone likes Disney. Doesn't mean now is a good time to go. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay, I really gotta stop. It fills me with rage. Oh, one more life update. Okay, so I've been watching 90 Day Fiance again recently. I have a problem where I get like really bad secondhand anxiety from movies and TV shows. I like put myself in their shoes too much, and like when people die or whatever, I get so like actually stressed out. Like if there's like an episode of like a bank robbery and like hostage situation going on, I get like actual really bad anxiety thinking about like these people dying in the TV show. It's really dumb, but like it's bad. Like it's a problem. So I like to watch a lot of dumb like reality TV instead, because then I just get secondhand embarrassment and that's more easy to tolerate. So I've been watching a lot of 90 Day Fiance again. If you haven't heard of it, there's a visa called the K1 visa where you can apply for your fiance and move to the US, and you have to get married once they're here, which makes sense, but a lot of people on the show obviously have been chosen because they're in like ridiculous relationships. So it's like this whole drama, like I have to get there and then get married within 90 days for my visa to be valid and blah blah blah. But like these people have met like one time. So they move here and then they have all these relationship issues, and like the parents hate them, and there's this huge culture shock, and all the friends hate them, and it's like this whole ordeal. And they've spent like 5 days together total in person, so they're not really working and meshing well together in real life. And it's just it's so dramatic and it's so dumb, but I really enjoy this show. And obviously because it's reality TV, they pick like the worst people and they play it up so much, but it's hard to watch sometimes because these people are in terrible relationships, some of them, but it's also great fun. So I needed this, you know, I needed to like, you know, watch other people's problems for a little bit. Everything's going terribly in the world right now, but like at least, you know, we can watch 90 Day Fiance and watch, you know, people scream at each other for no reason. Like I just finished season 4, and this one girl, she literally tells her fiance that she's just marrying him for money. She's like, no, I just want your money. Buy me a purse. What? Great stuff. I highly recommend. It's on Hulu if you're interested. Anyway, the build's coming to an end now. We finished the speed build part. This video has been all over the place already, but let's go ahead and jump into the actual build. Hello? Oh. I clicked the play button like 4 times, wasn't loading the house, and then all of a sudden it just did. So here's what I built. Insufficient, never mind, hang on. So here's what I built. As you can see, it is significantly smaller, but I think it looks a lot better. I've got like the rocks to match the ones in the world. This is what I was talking about by the awful, awful color of the red patio, but I kind of like it. Like I kind of like the red patio. There's nice balconies everywhere. The back is nice. I think that this turned out a lot better. Actually, inside the house, you come into the living room. This is like the formal living space. So there's got some bookshelves and like a chess table and a nice place to sit and play the piano. There's also a desk. It's not quite an office, but it's like a mini office space, so it works. Over here's the dining room. There's another piano, because when you are a multi-millionaire, like I assume these people are, you've obviously got 2 pianos. Here's one of the 2 bathrooms. I know it's really small, but it's okay. And this is the TV room. It's got all the bases covered, you know? And then you go upstairs and I have this big open area down to the bottom floor. Another chess table, more bookshelves. There's bookshelves everywhere in this house. This is the main bedroom, another little office space back here too. I like this room. I think it turned out kind of cute. We've got the guest bedroom here. I don't really know what guests are living here, but you know, when you've got guests, they can stay right there. This is the main bathroom. See, this is what I was talking about. You see how this one's giant and then this one downstairs is tiny? It doesn't make much sense, but it works, you know? And the original house had a creepy basement, and I liked the idea of that, but I changed it in my version to a creepy attic. So there's like a bookcase door that takes you into a ladder with like an unfinished room, and then you get upstairs, and in the attic, there's like some weird things going on. There's like papers on the floor, there's big stains everywhere, there's this listening device, some creepy barrels, there's like gym training equipment, and most importantly, Baby Yoda sits and stares into the distance, except he's so short that he can't see out the window, so he's not really staring into anything. He just wants to so bad, but he's too small to see out the window. I think that makes a lot of sense, the like creepy attic instead. It makes use of the space up there, and then there's windows for Yoda to not look out of. I kind of like that you can see it a little bit through the window too. Like what is that? What's going on in there? You know? But that's the whole house. I think it turned out nice, and again, it's just the base game in StrangerVille, so anyone that has StrangerVille can download it. I will definitely be using this in my game if I ever play with StrangerVille again, which I doubt I'll do, but you never know, right? But on that note, I'm going to go. So please make sure to leave a like and comment and subscribe and do all those fun YouTube things, and in case you guys didn't know, I post new videos every single day, and so I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Also, go home. Put a mask on and go home.